Hi, thank you for joining us. This is Nancy Lydia Mahaffey, following up with the videos that was released the past 3 days. I just want to give you an update what's happening in Ethiopia currently. The headlines were yesterday was the Prime Minister office has given a public press conference. It was expected that Dr. Abiy would give it himself, but instead it was the spokesman, and they have officially put the number of the people who gruesomely and brutally were murdered at 78. The report also included that they would go after those who have committed the crime, and they will bring those who are in justice, and relief and aid will be given to the people. That will be remaining to be seen. The next in line is there's a report from Adama, Nazareth, and Redawa that the local people are telling us that the Oromia police is arresting the wrong people, and this is collaborated by the freelance journalist for the Thomson Reuters, Mr. Tom Gardner. He has tweeted on his Twitter that he went to the local government office where he was told that they're arresting Naftanya, which is the Amara, and Wayane sympathizers, which will be the Tigray people. So again, as we have stated in the past, the Oromia police and the Oromia special forces are not impartial. They are not doing their job. They are giving law coverage to these hooligans. And in these matters, they are arresting the wrong people. They're arresting the victims instead of the people who committed the crime. Third, I would like to mention to you about the Ethiopian President Sahle-Work Zewde has issued a statement denouncing what happened last week, calling it that it was a red line crossed. They also, the president urged that these people who have committed the crime, the instigators and the people who committed the crime, should come and face justice. In their own words, where it says that if they don't come and face justice, there's no point that we stay in power. So this was posted on the Twitter, and today it was also on the president's office on Facebook page. Fourth, I would like to bring it to you is a meeting led by Deputy Prime Minister Mr. Mega from Amara Democratic Party, had gathered the Amara National Movement, the NAM, and 5 others have joined together to work, and they have agreed to work together for the best interest of the Amhara people, which is a very good news for the Amhara, whereas they've been sabotaged many times, as well as that they've been strategically oppressed, and that I think this is very welcome news, and I do hope they work together and that ADP will stop harassing, arresting, and killing the other parties, specifically the National Amhara Movement, and as well as the Fano local militias that they've been fighting for the people. And I do hope that ADP will continue on this way. Number 5 is about the Balderas Council. Balderas Council was started in Addis Ababa by world-renowned journalist and human rights activist Mr. Eskander Mega. Eskander Mega has been known by many that he has been fighting for human rights and bringing true democracy to Ethiopia. He's been jailed and tortured in the previous regime, but Dr. Abiy's government doesn't seem to look on him favorably either. When this council was put together, their main goal is to stand up for the Addis Ababa citizens and for their rights to be represented in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, and be led by people who have actually a best interest of the Addis Ababa citizens. Since then, some of the members for the council were arrested. But after these attacks, the Prime Minister, it seems like politically, allowed them to be released. So that was a good news. We have a few of the journalists and the human rights activists and the Balderas Council members are released, and that's very good news. Number 6 is that, unfortunately, this followed with the bad news that today there was an attack attempt on Mr. Eskander Mega, as him and his council members were leaving their office around 7 p.m. local time in Ethiopia, that a group of hooligans, Geros, came on a truck, on a car, and got off and started attacking. But there was police nearby, and the details have not come out yet, but among all of them, one was caught, and the rest were able to get back on their transportation and flee the scene. And Mr. Eskander Mega and the members of the Balderas Council took the man to the police station where they want to press charge. The police wants to let him go, but they insisted, and there is a report that it turned out to be the individual turns out to be an Oromia police. So we again I ask for international community that is standing up for journalists and human rights activists, that we hope there will be security coverage for Mr. Eskander Mega, that this situation should not be repeated. And the 7th news I have is the anti-terrorist law being used as a political revenge. And this one I'm going to talk about is the national movement for Amara Association. When it started, Dr. Abiy and his groups were very against about the Amhara organizing themselves by ethnics, whereas for many, many decades the Amharas are known to stand for national unity. But because what was happening to them and to the Amhara people, what was the massacre and the isolation and the displacement and the suffrage was so much that they had to organize themselves in order to be able to fight for their own existence. And this group came out of necessity. But Dr. Abiy obviously wants to disassemble this association. So they arrested one of the leader, the PR, Mr. Christian Tudela. Mr. Christian Tudela is a young man with a brilliant mind, and he speaks very eloquently. He has a way of explaining things. It seems like it is hard to debate him. He's very knowledgeable and knows the political and strategies, and also where the party wants to go in the party's policy. Now, Mr. Christian Tudela has been arrested for several months, and the anti-terrorist law, as well as the so-called coup that was done in June, they're associating him to that. They're saying that they're going to press charges, but it is a very well-known fact. This seems as a political revenge because the government is using the same law that the Prime Minister called it is illegal, and the government is the one who's terrorizing the people. And I do call on everyone that stands for justice, that stands for truth, to stand up and fight. This young man stood up and spoke the truth, and then he tried to organize the Amhara people to stand up for their right. That's the only things that seems what he's done, and this seems a political revenge more than a crime. I do hope that people who have access to lawyers, judges, international justice mission, international criminal courts, please do get involved. Human Rights Association, please do get involved and find out the truth for this young man before the same kind of techniques that TPLF used to use is done again, and for him and for others. So before I finish my video, today there was a fundraising dinner in Bethesda, Maryland for OneFall. It is a nonprofit organization that is focused on education, and they are trying to build schools, and they were raising funds, and they did a wonderful, great job. And Colonel Daratu Tulu, Mr. Bogatu Siyum, and as well as the former Ethiopian national coach was as well there, and everyone had a great time. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for making me part of it. And I encourage you, anyone who views this, please go to onefall.org and find out how you can help. Anything you can give is going to advance somebody's education. As we all know, education opens every door. And I do hope that you will continue watching these videos. Please speak up for truth, justice, equality, and liberty. Above anything, humanity is bigger than religion, ethnicity, nationality. So please stand up with us, regardless of where you come from, what kind of language you speak, which continent you are, or where you are economically. That doesn't really matter. What it matters is speak for us, speak with us, stand with us. And I do hope that you will keep Ethiopia in your prayers, and I do hope that you will continue sharing these videos. We want the world to hear. We want the world to hear that what's happening in Ethiopia. And I hope you come back and watch more videos to come, and I will not stop speaking until the justice is served for these 78 people that were murdered in the most hideous way. And I will keep calling for justice. And thank you, and until next time, be well.